Okay, let's pick back up with this thing, monetary burn test. And the question is, if we burn this note, could he present that to me and demand that I pay it off? I go, what note? I don't remember any note. I got a short memory. And then it would be, well, whoever, as in most business transactions, whoever has the best documentation wins. Because you take it in front of some third-party arbitrator or a judge, and the judge is going to have to say, I just can't take your word for something. Did you write anything down? And if you wrote something down and the other person didn't write anything down, well, I guess, yeah, you wrote it down, you dated it, you were in class, you got more evidence behind you than he has behind him, so I guess you win because he who has the best documentation wins. Now, that was a freebie. I'm not business law class, and I'm not business law instructor, but I'm just saying from a practical standpoint, when in doubt, document, 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 document. And there's easier ways to do that. You accounting people know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't document it, it's like it didn't exist. Okay, let's talk about money laundering. Money laundering. Money laundering is when you take all those grimy dollar bills that you have in your wallet and you put them in your pocket before you throw them in the washing machine and you wash them. No. You mean you've never done that before? Pull the wash out. Oh, there's some dollar bills in there. That's called money laundering. Literally. Isn't it literally money laundering? Yes, it is, but that's not what they mean. Not the real thing. That's not the that's what are we talking about when we talk about money laundering? Well, it comes back to this idea of cash, and a lot of transactions are done in the what we call the underground economy. That doesn't mean it's illegal. It could be illegal, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's illegal. It just means that it's not documented anywhere. Somebody traded something for cash. It didn't get into anybody's records. The guy didn't take the cash and deposit in the bank. He took the cash and he maybe bought a steak dinner with it for cash someplace. Didn't even take a receipt for it. I mean, it's the underground economy. It got traded around dozens of times. One economic study I saw that once a dollar bill goes into the Amish community, it just circulates and circulates and circulates and circulates and circulates before it ever goes back out again. Because they're such a tight-knit group and they trade with each other so much that it just goes around and around and around and around, around before they ever go to Walmart and buy something with it and it leaves the community. So, if I was in the business that created a lot of, I don't know this business, so I don't know if I'm saying anything that's really accurate or not, but if I was in the gambling business, playing the ponies or something, and I take bets, and I cover bets, and I take this money and I pay out winners and losers and all that sort of stuff, and I make all this money, but I don't want to go get a license for that. It's just, everybody in our department was putting down bets on the Super Bowl game, and we were betting against each other, and it's just a big pool here. That's not really gambling, is it? I mean, it's just inside our department here. Of course, our department's got 600 people in it, and we're all betting over $1,000. But that's not gambling, is it? That's just playing games around Super Bowl. So if I was in that business and I get to make a commission or something because I'm the bookie and all that sort of stuff, now I got all this money. If I take the cash, because I'm not going to take a check from him and her. No, you got to come up with the green kind of money that if you want to play this game. So they come up with that. Now I made money off of that. Either I won or I made commissions or something. And what if I take my $10,000 or something and I just go plunk it down and say, put that in my checking account? Will they do it? No? The bank won't put that in your account? Yeah, they will. What kind of red flag? Yeah, it's called an STR, a suspicious transaction report. That you must have been doing something bad or illegal or something, because we're going to go tell the federales on you, because if I'm a bank teller and I don't, I personally can get in trouble. They will come back on me personally. Even if somebody comes in, puts in 2,000 and 2,000 or 1,000 or something, and it could get close to 5 or 6,000, they still are supposed to submit one of these suspicious transaction reports just to alert the government that so-and-so is doing some sort of business that's generating a lot of cash. And whatever they're doing, they're probably not reporting all of it. And so make a electronic file for them to make sure that all this money that went into their checking account, we've got a record of it to show that if that had, they're going to have to show where that came from. Or if they didn't pay tax on it, then we're going to go get them. And it's usually not the tax that really costs you a lot of money. It's the fines and the penalties on what you owed, which is really the thing that really got you. So they put in these suspicious transaction report. Now, so if a person's that, they don't want these suspicious transaction reports to come in again and again and again, because it's a red flag, and pretty soon you're going to be investigated. You got all these eyes watching you, and they're going to find something that you did because you're a person of interest here. So what do we do? I'm speaking, not we. What would a person do that was in the situation that's generating a lot of cash, but you can't just put it in the bank? You can't just go buy a car with it. Some places I suppose you could, but that's going to, the car dealer's going to go in with $6,000 cash. Then he's going to get it, and they're going to ask him, and then he's going to go to you. What do you do with that? You have to launder it. You have to clean it up so that you can get it into the system without any red flags going off. So what the mob or whatever it would be, what they would do is they would buy a fast food restaurant, franchise. It doesn't really matter if anybody ever bought a hamburger there or not. That's not the point. They would buy a couple laundromats, because laundromats and hamburger places, they bring in lots of cash all the time. No suspicious transaction report. It's not even suspicious. That's just ordinary. So when the laundromat brings in $10,000 of cash and puts it in the bank, does that generate any suspicious transaction? No, no. And now, since that business, really, you go by there and there's nobody doing their laundry in there ever, ever. But man, is the money coming in. The money's coming in like crazy, but nobody ever goes to that laundromat. So, what are they doing with that money? They are laundering it, and they're making a profit, and they pay the IRS's fair share, and now they can put it in the bank and do whatever they want with it. Now, that's called illegal money laundering. That's why they call it money laundering, because they would use a laundromat as their vehicle of getting money into their bank account. Of course, they pay taxes. Now, you think, well, why is the government opposed to that? I mean, they're getting their tax share. I mean, these criminals are making a lot of money, but they're paying taxes on it, right? Why is the government so upset about laundering money? They ought to be applauding laundering the money. They're getting more tax revenues. I'll just show you a video later on that we're going to do as an in-class project. It has to do with the best place to launder money is through Wall Street. And if you don't do it through Wall Street, then there's going to be lots of federalities to shut you down. But Wall Street is the #1 place to launder money. And we'll just do an economic case study on that. I'll just throw that out as a given, and we'll talk about it later. But that's what money laundering is. Now, we've covered those 3 things, 4 things, etc. Now we're up to the point of fiat money. Fiat money, I don't know how long that session was, but I think I'll probably cut off right here, because fiat money is a whole section of itself, and I don't want all of our laundering money discussion to go into the fiat money discussion. So we're going to break here and pick up with the next session of fiat money.